Our alliance scared the galaxy, so they came to erase us. We were born on a small blue world with green forests and deep oceans. Our people learned to survive and thrive in a place that was both beautiful and harsh. We did not know the galaxy was watching us at first. We were too busy learning to build and grow and understand our own world. But others saw us and wondered what we could become. They watched us from afar, in silent orbits and distant systems. They saw how fast we learned, how quickly we adapted, and how fiercely we fought to protect our own. Soon, our scientists picked up strange signals in the night sky. At first, we thought they were natural, but then we realized they were deliberate messages from beyond our star system. The messages were filled with complex mathematics and strange patterns that no animal or natural system could create. Our scientists worked day and night to decode these signals, and when they finally did, what they found shocked everyone on Earth. The signals carried data about star maps far beyond our small system and hints of life on other worlds. We were not alone. We built receivers and transmitters to send our own messages out into space. We sent out greetings in many languages, in music and in mathematics. We told the universe we were here and we wanted to learn and share and be friends. But some heard our call and they were afraid. They were old and powerful civilizations that had ruled the galaxy for millennia. They saw us as a threat, not because we were powerful, but because we were unpredictable and growing too fast. The leaders whispered among themselves that we must be contained before we became too strong. They feared our creativity and our willingness to learn from everything and everyone. They feared our drive to explore and to understand. So they sent their fleets across the stars toward our homeworld. At first, we saw small scout ships appearing in the sky like glowing comets. They hovered over the oceans and deserts and forests, but they did not land. We tried to communicate with them through every language we knew and through the signals they had sent to us. But the ships remained silent and still. Then the big ships arrived, massive warships that darkened the sky. They blocked out the sun and cast long shadows across the land. The people of Earth looked up with fear and wonder at the sight of beings we had only just begun to imagine. The leaders of the galaxy demanded that we surrender our world and dissolve our alliance of nations. They said we must stop our research, stop our communication, and forget that we had ever reached for the stars. They threatened to erase us if we did not comply, erase our cities, erase our knowledge, erase our existence. From their point of view, they saw us as a dangerous species that could disrupt the order of the galaxy. They thought we were reckless and chaotic, and they believed the only way to keep peace was to destroy us. But we did not surrender. We knew that if we gave up our freedom, we would lose everything that made us human. We gathered leaders from every corner of Earth and formed the United Defense Alliance. We were not prepared for war with such powerful foes, but we had something they did not expect. We had courage and unity and a drive to protect our home. Our scientists worked with engineers and artists and thinkers of all kinds. They built new ships that could travel faster than light and new weapons that could defend our planet. They worked not for profit or power, but for survival and for hope. As the alien armada drew closer, we sent out a message of peace. We told them we did not want war and that we wanted to learn from them. We asked why they feared us so much. We asked if there was another way, but they did not respond. They had already decided that we were a threat and that we must be eliminated. So, battle was joined. The sky was filled with flashes of light and thunder as our ships clashed with theirs. Our weapons were not as powerful as theirs, but our pilots were brave and our crews worked together with perfect coordination. They danced among the stars like fireflies in a storm. Some of their ships were destroyed and others fled back into the darkness, but the war was only beginning. On Earth, families prayed and wept, but also stood firm. They did not want to die, but they did not want to bow either. They planted gardens and sang songs and sent messages of love into the universe. They showed that we were not a people ruled by fear, but by hope and resilience. The aliens then changed their tactics. They began to attack our cities directly. They knew that if they broke our spirit, they could defeat us easily. Our great cities burned, but from the ashes, new strength arose. People did not hide, they stood together. They helped each other rebuild and fight back. They used the lessons they had learned from every struggle humanity had ever faced. In time, we developed shields that could deflect the alien weapons, and we learned to hide our major installations deep underground and underwater. Our scientists discovered that the alien ships were powered by a strange form of energy that reacted to emotion. We learned that when people felt fear, the energy became stronger and more volatile. But when people felt courage and unity, the energy weakened and could be disrupted. So we found a way to use our own emotions as a weapon. We trained our pilots and defenders to focus on calm and brave thoughts in the face of danger. They learned to think of loved ones and friends and home. We taught them to center their minds on unity and peace, and that disrupted the alien energy fields. Suddenly, their weapons became unstable and lost power. Their shields flickered and broke, and our ships could strike back with strength. We won small victories and pushed them back from our orbit. But the alien leaders still refused to talk. They sent a terrible weapon meant to wipe out entire continents. They thought that if we frightened us enough, we would surrender, but the weapon failed because the people on Earth did not give in to fear. Instead, we rose up together. We fought back with every tool we had built, every idea we had dreamed of, and every connection we had formed with each other. The sky was bright with battle, but in the end, we forced the alien fleet to retreat. They left in pieces and disorder, and for the first time in their history, they fled from a species they thought weak. We had proven that strength is not only power of arms, but strength of heart and unity of purpose. After the battle, the galaxy could no longer ignore us. Many species came out of the shadows to see what had happened. They saw that humans had survived against all odds, and that we had done so not alone, but with an alliance of nations working together. They saw that we did not want to conquer or destroy, but to live and learn and create. They saw that we fought not for hate, but for love of home and hope for a future. So the galaxy changed. Slowly at first, and then with great momentum. Civilizations that once feared us reached out in friendship. They asked to learn from us, then to share knowledge and culture. We taught them about art and music and science, and they taught us about the stars and the wonders beyond our world. We became known not as a threat, but as a beacon of courage and unity. Our alliance grew to include many worlds and many species, and we never forgot the lesson we learned in our darkest hour, that fear can blind and destroy, but hope can build and unite. We remembered those who fell and honored their memory by building a future that welcomed all who sought peace and understanding. In time, the galaxy became a place where no one feared the unknown because they saw in us the strength to face it together. And though our world once stood on the brink of erasure, we emerged stronger and wiser, united not by fear, but by profound hope and a belief that even the smallest voice can be heard across the vastness of space. This is the story of how humanity and our allies stood against erasure and became a force of harmony in the galaxy, and how our courage changed the hearts of others so that fear no longer ruled the stars, and we learned that the greatest power of all is the power to choose unity over destruction and love over fear, and with that power we shaped a future that shone brighter than any star before.